Hello, so I am back again. I've been making videos like every single day this week, and that's because I have a lot of messages coming through. Um, I'm trying to decide whether I want. No, I'm gonna make that another video. So, this video, I don't know how long this is gonna end up being. I just wanted to come on here because there's just things that I'm noticing, and I'm realizing that maybe what I can just do is share what comes up when it comes up rather than having to have something to talk about in that big dramatic way. So I've been having old videos pop up, or it's just been one, but now I've noticed it. So note taken, aware, process. There we go. I had an old video from Buhari Life, who is Jessica Alexandra, who is a witch, a goddess that I really, really love, and I really enjoy her messages here on YouTube. I've talked about her before. But I had one of her old readings show up for me. And I've also been talking about seeing beyond the veil, and I've been talking about shadows. And I was thinking about how I've been receiving a lot of confirmation through readings. And the way that I tend to receive confirmation from spirit, from God, from goddess, from whatever, from the universe, from my ancestors, is I tend to experience those confirmations through readings. Either through me shuffling my own deck, or through me listening to a reading, or sometimes through dreams, sometimes through things in the outside world, but usually it's either my own fantasies and my own dreams that I get confirmed in a reading, or just my own thoughts that I get confirmed in a reading for myself, that I do myself, or that I listen to from another person. But for the majority of my spiritual experience so far, I've listened to these readings and I've accepted them and I've been excited about them, or I've learned from them, but I haven't really, and I've taken them as signs, but not really. And I haven't seen them as like real confirmation. I've always been looking for something that's a little bit more, just that feels more real to me. And I've always, like, I don't know how to describe it other than it's never felt very real in the way that it feels real these days. Like, I got a reading the other day and I took it and I acknowledged it and accepted it as like, this is literally spirit talking to me and telling me what's going on, rather than, oh, this is a reading and this is like reassuring and it's comforting, but it's just a reading. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I don't know, reality is beginning to shift, and I'm beginning to see things in things that I usually would think I can't trust. I'm beginning to trust in the things that I can't see, or in the things that appear to not be just for me, or appear to be fragile or tricky. I'm beginning to see the light in them, or see what I need to see in them, and take that information and keep moving. Like, I've been seeing a lot of flashes of lights, or like very thin shadows, or just like columns of light, or just things passing by in the corner of my eye, sometimes right above me. I'll just be seeing things, but it's not like I'm seeing like a ghost, like standing right there. And I don't like see something in the corner of my eye that's very like thick and like almost tangible. It's like a feather, like that type of delicate in terms of the physical. It's like almost translucent. It's like I'm not seeing anything at all, but I'm seeing something. And that's how I feel. That you're getting closer to the edge, or to really discovering something, or we're moving into a state that is more metaphysical, or that is just more mental and more spiritual than before, and using our perception of illusion and reality a lot more, and playing with those dimensions a lot more, playing in the gray a lot more. And I think that all of this, I don't know, like, I'm just thinking about the past coming up, and like why, the ways that we needed to be deceived by the universe, by ourselves, in order to learn certain things and not get, like I think that had I taken all of the readings that I've listened to across my life, which is really, I've only started listening to readings this past year. So had I taken all of those readings in at the level of seriousness that I and it's really just been this last reading that I really was like, oh, like, yeah, this is like true. This is real, for me. Had I done that this whole time, I don't think I wouldn't have gone on journeys that I needed to go on. And I wouldn't have learned certain things because I would have been stuck on this is real and this is coming true and this is happening, now. Rather than being taken on a side street to go learn about this and think about this and experience this. You know what I mean? Like, we needed to not be so invested. And now I think that Spirit's like, okay, it's time to get invested. It's time to sink in because you're actually here now. Like, you've been, like, it's almost like you've been, like, on an airplane flying over the land that you're about to land on. And now we're, like, landing. And so Spirit's like, okay, time to, like, sink in. Like, before you were, like, sleeping or, like, you were just, like, looking and then going off and doing something else and just thinking about other things because you weren't there yet. But you could see it. But now it's like we're there, And now that I think about that, there's so many readings that are popping into my head that are confirmation of this becoming true. And this is how you see that time is literally an illusion, because like there's readings from a long time ago that are connecting. There's readings that I listened to like a few weeks ago or a week ago that are connecting. And this reading that just popped up into my feed that I'm now watching, which is funny because I remember watching it back then and I wanted it to apply, but I was like, this doesn't really apply to me. But now I feel like, oh, this could probably apply to me. And I'm also understanding that time is, an illusion. So it might not happen in the time that that the reading says, but that's because readings are for multiple people. And that's why I love, and she was saying that she loves collective readings, and I'm saying I love collective readings. Okay, we have Six of Wands, Page of Wands, and Judgment. Judgment's been coming out a lot. I'm sure you all know that. Judgment, Six of Wands, celebration, victory, triumph, Page of Wands, good communication. Oh my God. All of the same cards are coming out. There's the Wheel of Fortune. There's the Six of Swords. I think that oh my God, and there's the Lovers. And there's the Lovers. So I'll give you personal examples. And there's the Two of Cups. And the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So I'll give you some examples. Like in my personal life, I'm a huge lover. And I really, really am looking forward to meeting my soulmate. And I'm not interested in settling. So I've been on a journey to try and meet my person. Yeah, and I've dealt with a lot of deception and loss and struggle, and I've had to build up a lot of boundaries. I've dealt with a lot of endings on this path, and it has made it difficult to always feel committed to this path, but it's also been something that has never left me. And now I've been feeling that I'm getting closer. And all the other times that I thought I was getting closer, I wasn't really feeling it. I was just hoping for it. This is like grounded hope. Like, this is no longer the star. This is what? Because this is no longer the star energy. I'm not wishing on anything. It's here. That's how it feels, like it's real. We have the Tower and the King of Cups, and then the Five of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the World. We're no longer wishing. It's here, it's present, it's grounded. Well, I feel like it's almost the grounding of the intuitive into the physical. It's the grounding of the spiritual into the physical, or it's really just the acknowledgement and the understanding, the truth of the fact that the physical is the spiritual. I've been saying in like every reading that we're coming closer and closer to really being fully aware of just how spiritual everything is, and connecting with our soul tribe because of that, and our soulmates, and our true purpose, and our higher selves, and all of that. The Lovers is out again, and I think that's why the Tower came out with the King of Cups, because the King of Cups is like emotions, intuition. Why is that here? I feel like the walls are falling down. The Tower falling down is the boundaries between like our own magic and this sense of logic and practicality that stops us from fully engaging with and seeing the truth of our desires and our hopes, and the fact that they really truly exist and they are there. And for some of us, they're literally like, they're coming, they're here, they're in the 3D, they're real. It's no longer something that you have to manifest. Like, it's art, it's here, it's alive, it's present. You literally, it just has to show up like right in front of you, but it's here already. That's what I mean with all of these readings and like things from the past showing up, and dreams and desires. Like, everything is just becoming a lot more physical. You know what I mean? Things are just becoming a lot more real. That's just what it feels like. King of Wands, Seven of Wands, and the Magician again. Yeah. I feel like the Page of Pentacles and the Magician are connected. And we're just seeing just how grounded our talents, our dreams, our skills can really be, our magic is. Just how grounded magic is in reality. Just how real magic is. I just think we're starting to see how real magic is. And it's going to tear down a lot of constructs for us. It's like getting to the point of, it's like when people acknowledge like gravity, or it's like when people acknowledge that, that like wind is a physical thing, or that your emotions are real, you know? It's like that type of thing becoming real, and that type of thing becoming solidified. That made huge jumps of progress for us as a species, acknowledging that emotions are real, acknowledging that mental health is a real thing. It's not fake, you know? That's something important, that's something that you have to consider. Acknowledging that gravity is a thing. Acknowledging that, you know, the Earth isn't the center of the universe or of our galaxy, it's the sun. You know, like that's the level of shift that's happening, and awareness, and like education, upgrade that's happening. Like, we're making a huge shift in the realness of magic. Like, magic is going to become like on par, or just like spirituality and things like that, and the way that the perspectives that we have of the world in that sense are, I feel like, are going to become kind of on par with science. You know, it's just going to be something that is, and we learn it, and it's like, there are facts, there are things that that can be proven, there are discussions that can be had, and institutions. Like, it's a real thing. It's not just something that some people just, like, everything is spiritual. I think spirituality is about to become a lot less woo-woo, even though it's going to feel very woo-woo. It's going to become normal. It's just going to become very real. It's going to become regular. And that is going to shift a lot. It's going to shift a lot for many people in different ways, because the people who were exploiting spirituality by seeming as though they were the only ones who had access to it, to like the real depth of it, are going to lose their identities, and are going to have to find a way to reform and actually begin to find who they actually are, beyond this being like this exploitive spiritual teacher. And the people who refuse to acknowledge spirituality and were super like against it altogether are going to also have their own processes of having to awaken and discover themselves and understand themselves a lot more deeply, and understand the earth a lot more deeply. the world a lot more deeply. This is judgment. This is the rebirth. This is the awakening. This is justice. Because it's really just everything coming up in your face and you being shown your entire life right in front of your eyes and just seeing just how real it all is and just exactly what you did and just exactly what you believed and how that led you to live and all of these things. But it's going to be a beautiful experience. There's the star. Temperance and the Ace of Wands. Just lots of new beginning, lots of adventure, lots of excitement, and a lot of guidance, I think, from Spirit, because I think that Spirit understands that this is going to be an interesting time. We are in the evolution, you know. I've been saying that. I was saying in the last video that we are like that species. We are both the oh my God, that's funny because I was talking today about to my sister about the people who live in between generations. So like someone who's between the millennials and the Gen Zs, you get to pull from both perspectives and you have a level of awareness that's important and that you should try and share to represent, to find common ground. We are the generation that is between a state of evolution, and we have experienced the previous state, we're in the in-between, and we are about to experience the evolved state. And that's a very special experience. That's a very unique experience. It's very difficult, but it's something that we are all about to go to. I see the devil consistently coming up, and I understand why, because it's going to be tricky energy. There's a lot of play with shadows. There's a lot of play with darkness, because, I mean, it's the page energy. It's the fool energy. We are starting anew, and we have all this new, brimming, exciting creativity and this passion and this, thrill to learn and to grow and do and ground ourselves in this new state, but it's also going to come with the destruction of a lot. And a lot of emotional towers are going to be torn down. A lot of boundaries are going to be torn down. A lot of traditional structures are going to be torn down. A lot of teachers are going to be awakened. A lot of educational circles are going to be ignited. A lot of wisdom is going to be shared. And, the people who define themselves based on their access to power and to knowledge and use that knowledge for power are really going to be thrown off their feet, because it's going to become clear that we all have access to the same source. We all have access to the same amount of knowledge. It's a matter of whether you want to go and seek it, but we all have access and we all have an inherent right to it. We all get to learn and we all get to think and we all get to explore these concepts. Yeah. And I've been saying in other videos too, that it's a decision to evolve or it's a decision to stay in the old state, the state you've always been in. And there's things that are beautiful about that state, but there's also many, many things that don't work. And it's not going to work in a world that is, as a whole evolving. They are going into the evolution. If anything, it's not going to work because Earth is evolving. Earth's in her evolution, Staying in her and trying to hold on to this old thing that's dead, that's dying, that's gone, that's an ancestor at this point, is you living in the past. And the ancestor is like, girl, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, if you choose to stay in this unevolved state, and it's not to say that it's lesser than, or that it's not good, or that it was never good, or anything like that. It's just a different state. It's not this evolved state. And because we don't have a range of words, or I don't have a range of vocabulary to give it all the importance it deserves, I have to say unevolved versus evolved versus in between. But try and understand that I'm not saying it like that in terms of like prejudice or anything like that. I'm just saying it how I can most clearly express it right now as it comes to me. Yeah. But choosing to live in that unevolved state is going to be painful. It's not going to make any sense, because you're going to be literally living in like an energy of death that is decaying and not right. Like, it's just not going to be beneficial to you because you're still alive. You're still incarnating. So it's just not going to make sense. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of potential leaders rising up, a lot of new structures. And you get to make a choice on what you are interested in, what you want to get engaged in, what you want to evolve, what you want to get involved in. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, you know? Make your own choices. But now is not the time to be, not to not be a follower, because there's nothing wrong with being a follower. There's natural leaders, there's people who are more comfortable being an employee, being a follower, whatever. And that doesn't need to always be negative. But you need to make the choice to be that, you know. You need to make an informed decision based on what will benefit you and what you enjoy, what makes sense for you. Don't just do things because other people want you to do them, you know. That's why unions exist. You can still be a laborer for a higher company, but you still need to be advocating for yourself. We can have governments, we can have presidents and all of that, or politicians that are representing us, but you need to elect them and you need to support the causes that they are saying are meant for us. You know, you need to have a voice. You need to use your voice. It's not there for no reason. And the bad thing about it is if you do hold on to this old state, this old timeline, as everybody else moves on, you are going to be present, you are going to be physically here, but no one's going to be able to hear you, no one's going to be able to see you, no one's going to be able to feel you, no one's going to be able to connect with you because you are so disconnected, because you are literally in a different state of evolution that just does not even relate anymore to this new way of being. And we don't all have to be in a new way of being in the same way, but you do want to grow. This is really just about you growing. You want to grow. You don't want to stay the same. The Empress is here. It's really about finding harmony with yourself. It's really about finding harmony with nature. It's really about self-love. It's about pleasure. This new state is about abundance and growth and creativity. Creativity and expansion of the mind in order to imagine new realities for ourselves, new ways of existing in this world, new ways of functioning with the earth, and just really progressing, digging deep into our shadow and into our dreams to see what the darkness holds, and understanding that the darkness is not evil. The darkness is just a different aspect of the universe that we don't really understand. And once we try to understand and we explore that through that hermit energy, through the number 9 energy, through healing, we really begin to flourish and blossom into, you know, our greatest selves. And then there we go, connecting with the world, connecting with our higher power. Got the Hierophant, the World, and the Empress. Whenever I pull, I get a lot of major arcana. There's the Devil, and there's the Creator, and there's the Star. I get a lot, and the Moon has been popping out too, just not actively. Yeah, but that Devil energy is gonna be there because you're gonna. It's connected to there's the Judgment. It's connected to the Two of Swords. Because you're gonna have to make a decision, and I think the decision is obvious, but that Devil energy might come in and make you question yourself and make you think about all the great things that were in this old timeline and make you feel like you can't grieve. Like you're not going to be able to grieve it and then move on and let it go. Like you have to hold on, you know, and that's when it's like you're holding on to something that's actually already dead. You know, you're not like saving its life. It's already gone. So you are literally living in the past. You're living in a place that doesn't exist anymore, but it does, which is where we begin to play with that illusion and those boundaries and what is reality and what is real. That's why I started this video off the way I did, where I was like, things are becoming real. You know, the past is a real place, but it also doesn't exist in the present. It's real, but it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So that's illusion and reality and tangibility and aliveness becomes very complicated when you get stuck in the past, when you get stuck with ancestors that don't want you there. You know, your ancestors you can connect with from the present. You can connect with your ancestors in the future, but you don't need to be where they are. They are where they are because that's their home now. That's where they live, and they are actually operating in so many different spaces. But you're not even in that type of energy because you're not deceased. You're still incarnating. You're still alive. So living in that energy will eat at you and tear you down. Yeah, it's the Six of Cups, but in a way where you're not seeking harmony, you're not seeking balance. You're fighting. You're doing the Seven of Wands. You're just challenging and challenging and challenging death, and you're refusing to, Queen of Swords, accept the truth and move on. You're refusing to live in harmony with yourself. You're refusing to accept love into your life now. You're refusing to accept new proposals, new ideas, Knight of Cups. This is one of those, the Emperor moments. This is a law of the universe. You cannot live in the past and expect to be happy, you know? It's just not a state of happiness for incarnating people. We have to grow. We have to evolve. We are alive. We need to be alive in the present, where aliveness is more real. You know, aliveness becomes very elusive in the past, and we need grounded energy, especially here on Earth. Potentially on another planet, you could live in the past while you're incarnating and be very joyful and be very happy. But on Earth, you cannot. We are a planet of grounded energy. We are a planet of the heart chakra. You need to be fulfilled. You need to be experiencing pleasure. You need to be connecting with other people who are also alive, who are also here and present with you. You need to be building community. You need to be able to have closure and move on. That's a universal law, one that I think is important and there for a reason. Boundaries are there for a reason. Nine of Wands. Yeah. It's going to require a lot of people to step up and choose themselves, actively choose themselves, actively choose life for themselves in a way that, you know, up until now you probably could have gotten away with saying that you are choosing yourself, you are alive, you are living. But now we're seeing life in so many more complicated dimensions that it's going to become obvious that people who are not living, the people who are not really alive. You know, I think that's what the zombie apocalypse is really about. Yeah, and if you're gonna experience that with family, you're probably gonna be the people who are. Whenever I see the Ten of Pentacles these days, I'm always thinking about the generational trauma breakers. But yeah, that's what I think the zombie apocalypse and those stories are always about. It's not like those people are actually dead and zombies, but they are living in an energy that is not coherent with the world around them and with life and with joy and with aliveness. And so they're in this weird gray area. Everything, we're experiencing all of everything. That's what Judgment is about, though, because when gray area energy comes in, when darkness energy comes in, we all get to experience different versions of it based on the karma that we've acquired, you know, and then you can move on from it and heal, and then you get to experience different versions and evolve. But some people are going to experience versions that are really traumatic because of an inability to have boundaries, because of an inability to let go and release. Because closure is something that people are not able to seek because they can't let go, because they're attached to suffering, because they're attached to this way of life that validates them in their sadness and in their ability to grow and follow their dreams, when really they're just afraid. And it's a lot of inner child healing that's needed. It's a lot of generational trauma healing that's needed. And almost most of it is not really our fault. It's hard being an incarnating being and also being a soul and having a higher purpose and all of these things. But, you know, we're working on it. We're working through it. But try to choose yourself. I think that Black people are going to be having a really great time. And it's about damn time. I really do. I really, really do. I think we're going to be thriving. I think we're about to be in our era. And the supernatural, like, really going to be stepping into our era. And I'm very excited about it. Can't even lie to you. Can't even lie to you. But, you know, like retribution. Reparations. It's Juneteenth today. Which is exciting. It's also Father's Day today, and I've been talking about that masculine, divine masculine healing energy. But yeah, Juneteenth. All history has to be accounted for. All energy has to be accounted for, and I do think that a lot of the karma was being held on to because we weren't in a place to receive it all. There was a lot that was built up consistently over like centuries. And then it was like there was no time or ability to just, give it all, give all of that karma out. I think too much was happening all at once. A lot of overwhelming nature, but so much has slowed down, not only for us over here on Earth, but also in the universe. And now it's like, okay, I've done my assessments, and now it's judgment. I'm ready to close the chapter and give what needs to be given. Here is your reward for your actions. And it is a reward because here's your damn karma. And karma doesn't always need to be bad, doesn't need to be scary. It's just what you need to receive. Red hair. What is the color red? I mean, root chakra. But this red hair. I dyed my hair red because I was like getting it so heavily. And I was like, you can't really see it here, but I did put some red dye in my hair. But look at all of this red hair. And all around, it's like grounding your crown chakra. It's fully making the tie between it's aligning the chakras, because you're aligning your root chakra to your crown chakra, and everything in between is aligned as well. We are experiencing alignment, and that's not always easy. Sometimes you experience alignment and then you are really faced with your reality. And sometimes your reality is shitty because you've been shitty or you've been doing shitty things, So sometimes aligning your chakras and seeing the truth sucks. Sometimes it's fucking awesome. For the world, I think it's going to be hard, but it's also going to be awesome because it's going to create a lot of opportunity. It's going to create a lot of justice. It's going to be room for a lot of truths to come out. And I think it's going to also create a lot of defensiveness, a lot of anxiety, a lot of like, who am I? A lot of, lostness. And some people are going to be going into their hermit mode energy, their 9 energy and healing and doing some inner work. Some people might be in their 7 of Wands fighting. Some people might be in their Empress energy. I can say that I will be in my Empress energy. I'm not trying to be in nothing but my Empress energy. And, obviously energy fluctuates and we all are constantly growing and changing and evolving, so it is what it is. But I think it's a beautiful thing that we're grounding, and you're also protecting, because instead of just letting your crown chakra be opened and without, like, you're like rubbing soil over it, so it's like shielded, but it's shielded by the earth. We're coming into the earth. We're becoming more so a part of the earth. We're becoming more real. We're becoming more we're coming closer into our own nature, which is really, really beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Lots of fiery energy. Lots of red, 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 red. Beautiful. It's a lifeline. But yeah, I feel like that's it. That's all I kind of wanted to say, and I enjoyed this. The world. I'm gonna let this reading go. Do you want a card I'll give you one card from the angels and one card from the African goddesses. Angels, who are really surrounding Earth right now, so you might feel a lot of angelic energy. What message okay, so, there we have the Emperor. Power and intention, makes sense. And then clear, cancel, and release. And then, hold on, what's that? Angelic, and then we have angelic protection and yes. So yeah, the angels are surrounding the earth right now, heavily protecting us as we're going through this transition. It's a beautiful transition and we're doing so well. And why did I do that? You have the power. You have the power to release, and release with intention. Use your power with intention. When you're canceling out things, do it with intention. When you're setting a boundary, do it with intention. Don't be defensive and block out things that are your blessings. Don't block out protection. Do the work that needs to be done to ensure that you are growing at a rate that is good for you, and that you're also making sure that you are taking care of other people in the process. Sometimes taking care of other people is setting a boundary. Sometimes taking care of other people is letting them love you when the love is also good for you. You know what I mean? Ask and receive. Receive your damn blessings. Notice the signs and the reminders. Be more aware and be more present. And stop being so in denial and so defensive and so refusing of your blessings that you're like, no, I don't deserve this, so I'm not going to see this, and I'm not going to pay attention to this good thing in the reading, and I'm only going to pay attention to the bad things. Like, what the fuck is that? What's the point of that? Accept opportunity. Accept change. Accept a change in the wind. Let the wheel of fortune spin you into a more beautiful reality, something that works for you. Don't stay where you are being hurt. Don't stay where you are being abused. Seek abundance and accept it when it comes knocking at your door. And accept protection. Yes. Say yes. Say yes to yourself. And say yes to kindness and say yes to loving energy. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Oh my goodness. And cut the cords where there's a lot that's going to be released. I mean, clearly. Spirit's just like, girl, prepare them. There's a lot that's going to be released. With all of this judgment, Wheel of Fortune energy, the world energy, the Seven of Swords keeps coming out, which talks about deception. And deception can be used for your benefit, and it can also be used to hurt you. Try and recognize when it's happening and where it's happening and whether you're using it and whether your people you love are using it against you. Or, you know. Sometimes you're going to have to be logical in a way that feels like you're not using your emotions and you're not using your heart, but it's really your intuition working in their mathematical brain and getting in that bag because they need to. Fearless love. Oshun. And Oshun is a goddess that is heavily present right now. Oshun is heavily present right now. Alchemy, Queen Nefertiti. What was I saying at the back? But alchemy, Queen Nefertiti. There's a lot that's being alchemized. There's a lot of energy that's being transmuted. As we transition, there's a lot. Okay, that's it. And soul forgiveness coming out at the end is so obvious. And brazen energy. Are these all upside down? Why is this all upside down? Whoop! The upside down. I'm going to get turned right side up. Oh my god, are these all upside down? Oh, they were literally all upside down. Secrets are going to be revealed. Soul forgiveness. I'm telling you, healing. Healing coming straight from the higher realms as well. What was I talking about? Don't self-sabotage. And if you do because it's only natural, and if you feel angry because it's only natural, please, please, please allow yourself the room to grow and to make a different choice once you've self-sabotaged. Don't be like, okay, well, now I have to stick my feet in this mud and stay here. Like, you can make a bad decision, notice it, and try to rectify it and move on instead of having to just take it on the chin and just stay there. Like, no, we're no longer just staying places that don't serve us just because we, like, committed to it. No, you can change your mind. There's that no coming in. There's those boundaries coming in. There's that self-love and that patience for yourself coming in. We all make mistakes. We all self-sabotage sometimes. It doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have the grace to move on. That's why temperance is also there. Because as much as there is, this energy of judgment and karma, temperance also comes in with divine love, with divine timing, and is like, okay, well, did you understand what happened? Did you understand why you shouldn't have done that? Did you understand the consequences? Okay, now you don't have to stay here. Let's keep going. Let's go to the new timeline now. Do you understand why you shouldn't have stayed in this cycle even though all your friends moved on? Okay, you understand? Okay, well, let's go. Let's go catch up to your friends now. You don't have to stay here. You don't have to punish yourself. That's what Spirit's just trying to say. Have kindness for yourself. Be kind to yourself. It's gonna be a journey transitioning. It might be difficult, might be hard, might be painful, and be a lot of loss. You might make mistakes. You're a page. You're in the Page of Pentacles energy. You're the Page of Wands energy. Page of Swords energy. You're curious and you're trying to learn and you're going to make mistakes. And failures are the best way to learn. Some people can only learn through failing, and that's okay. That's literally a part of what it means to be alive. That's what it means to be human. Use your intuition. Learn what your intuition sounds like. Sometimes you're going to mistake other things as your intuition. And then you're going to learn from that and understand that's not your intuition. And move on. It's okay to make mistakes. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It doesn't mean that you deserve to live in hell forever. No. Nothing is forever. Nothing should be forever. Everything has its time and its place. And when you're ready to move on, you get to move on. But you've got to make that decision. Don't keep yourself in a prison. It's not like some self-righteous thing. Don't keep yourself in a prison. Because who is that working for? Who is that benefiting? No one. Absolutely no one. So, yeah, I think that, and it's certainly not benefiting you. And in this new world, when I tell you, a lot of the traps and the prisons that are going to be created are mental and they're spiritual. You're going to see the spiritual trap that you are in. You're going to see it. You're going to see the mental spells and the spiritual spells that people are putting on you. You're going to see everything. And people are going to see when you're in your own fucking trap. I mean, we can already see it, right? But now it's just going to become so obvious that it's undeniable and you can't even gaslight anyone about it. Because you're going to seem like you're literally out your damn mind. Like, that's why we're always talking about gaslighting these days. And we're going to talk about feeling energy these days. Because we're feeling it coming. Like, this is the new reality. You can't gaslight your way out of this. You're just going to be delusional, living in your own delusion. And it's going to be embarrassing, and it's going to be experience of suffering, and it's going to be humiliating, and you're going to need to grow. And you're the only one that can get you out of that. You're going to realize just how much power you have over yourself, good and bad. All right? It's going to be a time. It's going to be a time, but ultimately it's going to be okay, and we're all going to end up shining in the end. And it's all about feeling safe, creating a world where you feel safe, creating a world where your family and your friends feel safe, creating a world where it's safe to love, creating a world where it's safe to create and to explore and to adventure. It's creating a world where it's safe to be outside, where it's safe to express yourself openly. We want to create a world of love. We want to create a world of safety. We want to create a world of compassion and of truth, of honesty, of authenticity. All of the ways that you can get there, even in just being an example and living in your own life and exploring yourself, do it. And ignore the people that try to make you feel like shit. We're leveling up to joy, joy and pain, sunshine and rain. Period. This is the resistance. This is the rebirth, the radical rebirth. It's here, it's here, it's here. Take your harvest, take your potential, take your abundance, and go, girl. Don't let anyone hold you back, and don't listen to these corrupt leaders that are trying to tell us this and tell us that. Listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. Listen to your gut. Your gut's going to be talking to you, and it's going to be your ancestors. It's going to be spirit. It's going to believe. The universe is going to be the nature. It's going to be science. It's going to be whatever you believe in. But listen to what you believe in from your soul, from your heart, not what you've been told to believe, not all of this, not all of that. Listen to yourself. Listen to your gut. Listen to your heart. And if you can't hear your heart, then do some healing work and go to people you trust. You know, this is why community is important, because sometimes we can't hear ourselves or we don't know. We're confused. That's why you need to have relationships you can trust. Okay, so connect with other people. Collaboration is going to be huge. Community is going to be huge, and people are going to be willing to help. People's heart chakras are opening up. The earth is healing, and so the green energy, the heart chakra energy is huge right now. So, yes, don't be afraid to ask for help. And yeah, goodbye.